By the rings, Halo Infinite gameplay has finally been revealed.
Oh my god! Oh! Oh my fucking god!
Yes, it has showered down upon us like a golden stream of ODSTs. Microsoft's Xbox Series X has struck back against Sony's PlayStation 5 in the battle for console supremacy. And it's clear what everyone wanted to see most. Ya boy, ya homie, the one and only motherfucking Master Chief. Now, I initially wanted to do an entire recap of the Xbox Series X's gameplay reveal, but Halo Infinite is just a little too spicy. You know, you gotta take that dish away from all the others and kind of digest it on its own. So that's what we're gonna do. But part 2 is on its way. Now, before all the gameplay reveals, Microsoft made sure to let us know that every first-party title, everything we're about to see, is available through the Xbox Game Pass. And let me tell you, fellow gamers, there is no better deal out there. But before we get into Halo Infinite, I have to change into my alter ego. The Anime Man. This video is sponsored by Xenon Zard, an anime-themed digital card game with exceptional graphics for mobile devices. Battle alongside your personal AI. Choose from 16 different ones. What? Stand aside, Joey Wheeler. The AI will adapt to your playstyle, giving you advice and support as you outwit your opponents. Craft your own deck with over 500 cards and 7 different types of cards. With the unique mana movement phase, you can use mana to summon minions or transfer mana from weaker minions to summon stronger ones. But it's not enough to battle against just the computers. You need PvP. Test your strategies against other real-life players and claim victory. Xenon Zard is truly the game for anime fans. And if you download the game using the link in the description, you have a chance to win 240 cards. That's almost too much anime to handle. This is a July exclusive event, so download the game now. Make sure to share your experiences online using the hashtag XenonZardachi. Once again, download using the link in the description. Thank you, Xenon Zard, for sponsoring this video. And now, Halo Infinite. After 2 incredible teaser trailers and a wealth of speculation, the long wait is over and my blue balls have been relieved. Or have they? Many of the big questions we've been asking have been answered somewhat in this reveal. What will the art style look like? Is this an open world game? The wait for gameplay and information has been truly agonizing. It's mind-blowing to think Halo 5 came out 5 years ago. It was surreal just witnessing the next chapter of this incredible franchise that I've been around for years. So we're gonna look at things in depth with the gameplay reveal, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on a lot of the little details and overall aspects of Halo Infinite, you know, things that you might have missed or maybe not paid as much attention to. So, the main menu looks pretty damn dope if I say so myself, and I reckon that this is some kind of teleportation fast travel system because Halo Infinite is going to be open world. Those rings we saw way back, they're still relevant. Now, one thing I noticed immediately, this main menu music sounds like Halo. That was not the case for 4 and 5. I'd say the overall story setup is pretty promising. Brohammer and Master Chief are essentially trapped on this Halo ring trying to find a way off so that Brohammer can, you know, reunite with his family. The dialogue for Chief is perfect. Brohammer is just a little weird. He came off way more sympathetic in the initial trailer than he does here.
Who you are?
Breathe.
No!
Breathe. God, Steve Downes is fucking incredible. Now, it's also clear that the Banished are going to be the main threat in this game, so 343 are building off of Halo Wars 2's story. Important to note that Brohammer says, "I saw condors over there."
I know I saw condors over there.
You know what a condor is? It's that super fucking badass vehicle in Halo Wars 2. We probably won't get to fly one, but I'm going to hope for it nonetheless. I also do like the chemistry between the two. I think it was well written and the music was emotional and I was invested.
We're outgunned, outnumbered.
And it is an even fight.
So now that it's confirmed it's going to be an open world game, that brings up an entire discussion about the storytelling, because the series has traditionally been linear, mission by mission, but this is obviously going to have you tackle missions in whatever order you please. So will the story feel disjointed if you spend like 5 hours doing side missions and then catch up on the main plot? Maybe, but that is your choice as the player. The question is, will these cutscenes have the same level of quality and polish as the ones early on? And now we're talking, baby. That is a perfect first place to start with Halo Infinite. Although it's kind of weird that they didn't play any sort of music. I feel like that could have been really impactful. Also, there is going to be wildlife, hopefully more MOAs, our first slice of combat. And this is when I got a little worried. Number one, the textures just... something about the textures just took me out of the experience because I was so hyped and thrilled, yet I was like disappointed because I expected it to just be this mind-blowing spectacle. And yet I can't say that it looks better than Halo 3, Reach 4, or 5. I honestly can't say that. On a positive note, shooting the grunts has this blue mist, this methane coming out, and I thought that was a really cool detail. Shield recharging sound effect. Mwah. If you zoom in and slow it down, you can see a lot of textures popping in and out. In the background, in the foreground, and right here you can see some grass. Again, something to be worried about, but let's keep watching. Now, when I saw the Phantom, that's when my excitement really turned into like, is this it? Is this what it's gonna look like? Because you put this Phantom, what we've seen of it, compare it to a Phantom from Reach or Halo 3 or any other game, honestly. This does not look incredible. This is not mind-blowing. It's supposed to be mind-blowing. This is a next-gen console, Xbox Series X. You've been toting it as the world's most powerful console. Show us that. Show us that power. So I started to get really worried here. But that soon dissipated a little as I saw the glorious Warthog. And just how open the level design is, I mean, it looked and felt like the second mission of Combat Evolved, but expanded exponentially. And then, sprinting confirmed. Years of sprint debates at the Academy wasted. Look, before you shit yourself over the fact that sprinting is going to be in Infinite, we have to see multiplayer first, okay? To me, it doesn't matter in the campaign. This is going to be a big-ass map. You're going to need to sprint. Multiplayer is an entirely different story. The Warthog drives so well. And then this ODST style map got me really excited because it felt like Infinite is going to take pieces of every single Halo, like the best parts, and really evolve them. You know, you've got your TAC map, upgrades, database, view missions. There's likely going to be a ton of collectibles, lore, codex. You'll also notice some type of reward or currency next to the difficulty icon, meaning that missions around the world are likely going to vary in difficulty and reward. Now at this point I really started to hone in on the hit markers and, spread of the weapons, which still has that Halo 5 feel. I'm mostly fine with that, but the combat looks incredible. When Homeboy picked up the heavy assault rifle, oh Oh, that shit was so awesome. I think the way the combat plays out in this game, the way it's portrayed is incredible, adds depth and variety. I just hope they have enough different types of enemies to make it not feel so repetitive. Also, having some type of linear missions and not just open world, I think is going to be very much necessary. You can't just go 100% in the open world direction for Halo. That's gonna be jarring for people. Now, another thing I saw here is there's no weapon icon when you're gonna pick up a new weapon. This was a problem in Halo 5, and it was incredibly frustrating to be in an intense firefight and like need to swap your gun but not know exactly what your next weapon is gonna be. You know, unless you read that text, which you don't always have time for. Sometimes your brain just sees the weapon icon, bam.
Surprise, motherfucker!
The armor shred mechanic for the brutes is very cool. Feels like it expanded upon the brute design in Halo 3. And by the way, this is the first time we're going to fight brutes in a shooter since Reach, baby. Equipment has also returned. One-time use, throw it out, gives you an advantage. This is fucking awesome for Sandbox gameplay, in multiplayer and campaign. Now there's also the grapple hook and the return of the spike grenade, both incredible. However, I felt like the ways in which the person playing used the grapple hook weren't all that creative or jaw-dropping. The new weapon, the Ravager, looks sick. The way the music picks up as Chief's going up this elevator, but again, graphically, leaves something to be desired. Music, however, perfection. The Ravager seems to be a replacement of the concussion rifle, without the physics and also burst fire. So all the new weapons to me were fantastic. I think they rely on burst fire a bit too much, but they look like a lot of fun to use. Also the brute yelling out "die for the banished" and then throwing a suicide grunt. That is an awesome mechanic. Another thing to notice is that the grapple hook is on a cooldown and it has limited uses. And it looks like there's going to be different weapon variants because of the text on screen when the player walks past them. There's also going to be some type of scan feature to see objectives and stuff. Now what's really cool about the grapple hook in this situation is I'm pretty sure you could have run to the left or the right or even all the way around and come over the top to engage the enemies in this position. And that's the type of like free roaming playstyle that I think is awesome. But this brings up the question, what is the penalty for death? Because if you just respawn like it's Destiny and there's no punishment, you won't feel as much on the edge of your seat like you would facing down a rocket launcher flood on Legendary. Obviously grabbing the fusion coil and throwing it is badass. Despite my complaints about the overall graphics, I think the particle effects are pretty dope. This showcase was awesome in giving us a taste of a lot of different weapons and types of combat, slight vehicles and all that. The new brute they showed just made me think, hey, where's Atriox? So after the reveal, I sat down and just thought about everything I'd seen. And my biggest concern is the graphics. People have said, well, it's an open world game, there's gonna be so much rendering going on at a single time, and I'm like, well, GTA 5 looks incredible for 2013, Red Dead Redemption 2, all these other open world games look better than Halo Infinite in my opinion. The biggest problem is this does not look next gen. The combat looks fantastic, but the graphics do not impress me. And people are speculating that the game is made with ray tracing in mind. That wasn't active in the demo. People have pointed out that it is just a demo. There's a theory that what we saw was downgraded because it'll have to run on the old Xbox One as well. The stream itself had some lag and technical problems.
I know I saw Clone
God fucking damn it.
Drive. And when you're done with this war, we get away from here. Far away.
What the fuck is this fucking...
Wait here. Oh.
Yo, this buffering is insane.
The gameplay trailer looked a lot better in my opinion, so the demo might have just been messed up. Whatever the case, my excitement kind of dipped down every time I thought about the graphics. And that's the problem with a game that has such a long development cycle. You expect to just blow your tits right off. And I was blown away, but that was because I was like, finally, it's actually happening. Halo Infinite gameplay. Mechanically, it looks pretty damn slick. The movement seems less focused on enhanced mobility, while still retaining some elements that modernize it alongside other shooters, and the art style has vastly improved from Halo 5. It seems to be a mishmash of both eras of Halo, new grunt models beside the older ones. What we saw definitely captured the spirit of Halo. Exploring wide open areas, freedom of choice, a sandbox game, vehicle combat, wide variety of enemies with interesting AI. Let me put it this way, I am not impressed by the graphics, but I want to play the game so badly. Without E3 and PAX and no announcement of a beta, who knows when anybody is going to be able to test out Halo Infinite. And because of the graphics, some of the enemies did look kind of plasticky at times. The music really shined, and even the man himself, Marty O'Donnell, could appreciate it. Subscribe to his channel. They've been tapping into that aspect of Halo that we talked about. Emotional equity. When you hear the Halo theme, it has so much more weight than a song you aren't familiar with. I think 343 has truly listened to what fans want. It's not that we hate their version of Halo, but rather we're missing the old classic Bungie feeling. And you can have both. That's okay. The problem with Halo 4 was it seemingly ditched every artistic choice that the previous games had made. Combining the strengths, man. All I've wanted is for Halo to feel like Halo. And this does, without a doubt. The sound effects did not stand out. They felt fairly generic. I don't know what to say. I mean, listen to the assault rifle from other games. The new Brute War Chief is called Escharum, and from his small snippet of dialogue, well, he doesn't invoke the same intimidation, fear, and aggressiveness that Tartarus did in Halo 2.
And the prophets learn of this, that they will take your head when they learn. Fool. They ordered me to do it.
Of course, I'm biased, but I hope he can become the next Tartarus and represent the Brutes, or that they'll at least give Atriox some more screen time and character and have him show down with the Chief. Now, we're not done fully discussing the trailer, but right now, for better context, let's look at some information that we have. Now, Alana Pierce in her video says that this is actually an early build of the game, which, whew, breath of relief. But not really, because we're like 4 months from the release. If this wasn't an early build, I would be deeply worried. Now, alongside the reveal, Chris Lee, the studio head of 343, posted the Halo waypoint, and I'll highlight and summarize what I think are the most important points. Chris Lee says, "Our narrative team is crafting a story that will be entertaining and exciting for all players, so don't worry if you're new to the Halo universe or have no idea who the Banished are. From the beginning, our vision for Halo Infinite's spiritual reboot was to create a story and experience that's inviting to new players and welcomes them to fall in love with Halo the same way many of us did years ago without any prior knowledge required." I can take the headphones off, man. Beautiful. Beautiful, baby. That's what I've been talking about, man. You remember Halo 5's like promotional material, dude? There was like 17 novels and 37 comic books. If you wanted to understand like podcast or animated TV series, it was like... You can create a story and a narrative that appeals to new and old fans, and Halo 5 just didn't. I have no idea how we got to where Halo 5 started from the end of Halo 4. I still don't know. So the biggest success with Halo Infinite and 343 is the design philosophies they are taking. They want it to feel like Halo, they want it to play like Halo, they want the story to appeal to everyone, and that's just incredible. It seems like the basis for the gameplay is taking the second mission of Combat Evolved and just turning that into an open world, because Truth be told, that's probably one of the best missions in the franchise. And Chris Lee talks about that. When I first stepped out onto the Halo ring in Combat Evolved all those years ago, I was transported and immersed in a mysterious, awe-inspiring alien world extending into the sky. With Halo Infinite, we're now able to give players more freedom than ever before to explore a sprawling Halo ring. This demo shows off just a small section of the open and expansive world we've crafted to deliver an epic Master Chief experience. You know what this means? There's gonna be flood. You're on a Halo ring, you get to explore it, there's gonna be fucking flood on it, man. Mark my words.
Consider them marked.
I take back what I said, the flood should be in Halo Infinite. This next section talks about how Halo has always been defined by its sandbox, the collection of weapons, vehicles, and characters that fuel emergent gameplay and freedom encounters throughout the campaign. The team is building on the legacy of this iconic sandbox while evolving and infusing it with new offerings. Exactly what I want to hear. Despite what you may think about me, I don't want the series to just re-release Halo 3 every few years. I want new shit too. And it really seems like the abilities with the grapple shot are gonna be incredible. Throwing fusion coils or grappling to melee to traverse. Grapple to get into a vehicle. Holy fuck, that would be so awesome. You know, your homie's driving the Warthog and you got the flag and you fucking jump into the Warthog, dude. Oh my god. The potential. Grapple into vehicles. Make it happen, 343. Now, I don't entirely believe the validity of his statement on the Slipspace engine and how good the game's going to perform because I didn't see that, but I'm still hopeful. This next passage talks about how Halo Infinite is coming to Steam, official, which will continue Microsoft's goal of establishing the franchise's presence on PC. A great move, but at the same time, I'm worried about how many real reasons there are to get an Xbox Series X. If you can get the game through Game Pass, if you can play it on an Xbox One, if you can play it on Steam, what is the incentive to get the new console then? The PC version is promised to offer best-in-class optimization. Those of you dissatisfied with MCC's PC optimization, you'll have your day in court.
Objection!
Now, this next passage talks about the flighting program, and ya boy is ready to serve. I am ready to play Halo Infinite. I will do my duty in playtest and give my feedback. I'll whip out 2 plasma grenades and detonate them if that's what it comes to. Now, I'd also like to point out that Michael Wolf, the marketing lead, made a post on Xbox.com, short post, where he talks about historically awesome Halo marketing campaigns like Starry Night, I Love Bees, We Are ODST, Hunt the Truth. Halo Infinite is in crunch time right now. I mean, we got a maximum of 4 months before it's out the door. So these marketing campaigns are gonna need to rev up those fryers to generate the hype train. Now, Ryan McCaffrey made a post on IGN, another short post, where Chris Lee said, Halo Infinite is the start of our platform for the future. We want Infinite to grow over time versus going to those numbered titles and having all that segmentation that we had before. It's really about creating Halo Infinite as the start of the next 10 years for Halo and then building that as we go with our fans and community. Kinda sounds like Bungie's Destiny 10-year plan. Remember that? Except this actually looks like it has a good story and is fun, so... Now, what this confirms to me is that Halo Infinite is going to be a long-term investment and commitment by 343 and Microsoft, but it won't be like free-to-play or a live service game. But we should expect substantial updates that build upon the story and gameplay in meaningful ways. The start of our platform for the future. There was also the Become trailer, which was really freaking awesome. I mean, those graphics looked next gen. I felt chills going down my spine watching that.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
It all means nothing until you step inside.
New 5 gum. Stimulate your senses.
Also, if you didn't see, the gameplay trailer was real quick and showed off things like the energy sword, lightning grenade, the battle rifle, got a quick glimpse of that. Now, it's important to discuss things that weren't there. which was a lot. No sign of Locke, or the Arbiter, or Halsey, Lasky, Palmer, Fireteam Osiris, Blue Team, the Guardians, Cortana. Basically nothing from Halo 5. There wasn't even a quick 5-second clip of multiplayer or Forge or some new game mode or some other crazy shit. Hopefully all that stuff will come in time. And I'd like to point out that if this game is going to be heavily invested in by 343 and Microsoft, I hope they listen to fan feedback just like EA and DICE did with Battlefront 2 and add those things that people want to see so bad, like the Revenant, the Falcon. If we just keep asking for that shit over time, we should get it. Halo Infinite is stuck in this weird place of being a spiritual reboot, but also having to carry around the decomposing corpse of Halo 5's narrative and figure out what to do with it. Where can we bury this so we can move on? And it mostly seems to be building off the narrative of Halo Wars 2. The lore just feels scattered and disorganized. It's not so much what they showed was underwhelming, but how long it took to get here that makes it feel underwhelming.
I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
According to this Reddit thread and Alana Pierce's video, that the game would have come out earlier, but they reworked the entire story because of the criticism of Halo 5. And I'm sitting here oh shit, did we do that? I think I've rambled long enough. I'm going to give Halo Infinite the benefit of the doubt. Graphics were not impressive in the slightest bit, but mechanics are most important, and mechanically what I see is a shit ton of fun. It's this glorious combination of new and old Halo vibes that makes me excited. The principles of what made the Bungie games so awesome, with some modern iterations and elements from 343's games. This close to release though, there still is a lot to be concerned about. But what do you think? Holy Jesus, what are your thoughts on Halo Infinite? Put them down in the comments below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Enjoy the new Brute meme, spread it around. That's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!
Listen up, Spartans. It's Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief Sierra 117. Subscribe to the Act Man for awesome content and finish the fight. Master Chief, out.